This is QTV News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Here are the main news headlines. The Gambia Armed Forces, in collaboration with the Gambia Legion and voluntary organizations, hosted a national memorial service on Sunday to honor the fallen heroes of world wars. We look at the devastating environmental impact of sand mining on Gambia's coastline and how Sand Dredging Company in the Gambia is proposing a multi-million-dollar plan to restore the affected areas. United Purpose organized a project closure meeting for the West Africa Competitiveness Program WACOMP on improving the performance and growth of the onion value chain and other horticultural products. In business news, we have the foreign exchange rates from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the 13th to the 19th of November 2023. In international news, Liberians will vote on Tuesday in a runoff election between incumbent President George Weah and former Vice President Joseph Boakai after neither was able to secure over 50% of the vote in the first round. In sports news, the QCell-sponsored Manjai Nawetan League tournament final between Kololi Central and Ramdan has been rescheduled after two sides could not be separated as darkness fell whilst post-match penalties were in progress. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. This is QTV News, and I am Andy Kerma. The Gambia Armed Forces, in collaboration with the Gambia Legion and voluntary organizations, hosted a national memorial service to honor the fallen heroes of world wars. However, the World War II Veterans Family Association, who participated, feel the sacrifice of the war heroes has been forgotten, with the majority dying without special benefits from the British or Gambia governments. QTV's Mamudulamin Choi has the story.
Called Remembrance Sunday, this annual event falls on the second Sunday of every November, when the ultimate sacrifice of the war veterans is given a special recognition. The Vice President of the Gambia, Mohamed B.S. Jallow, attends the memorial service, which featured a march past by the police and the army and wreath laying at the cenotaph. The Gambia Armed Forces take this as an important opportunity to commemorate and honor the war heroes for their contribution to world peace. Major General Mamad O. Cham is the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces.
This day is a day that would ever be set aside for the remembrance of those heroes who gave their lives for the peace and stability that we are enjoying. So it is a day that we are celebrating, and I urge everybody to take moments and reflect on them.
Of all, mail from home.
During the Second World War, which is often referred to as mankind's bloodiest war, claiming an estimated 50 to 85 million lives. Of the more than 4,000 Gambians who were conscripted, 288 are reported to have been killed in action. These fallen warriors fought with bravery and distinction, playing a crucial role in defeating the Japanese in the jungles of Burma, now known as Myanmar. This is a solemn and proud occasion for the families of the war heroes, many of whom are sons, daughters, and grandchildren of the war veterans. They have traveled from different parts of the country to participate in this event. Babu Njai is the chairman of the World War II Veterans Family Association.
So my father used to tell me that, when they were in the war, they encounter so many things. But when the Gambians are in the front line, they always identify them as heroes.
The 81st Division of the West Africa Frontier Force, in which the Gambia contingent served in the Second World War, is today commonly referred to as the United Kingdom's Forgotten Army. This is because many feel that their sacrifices and contributions received little recognition from the British government. Alpha Usman Jallow and Joru Suso are PRO of the World War II Veterans Family Association and representative of the Gambia Legion, respectively.
But their widows are here, who are very frail. They are aged and frail. So before they all also die, they are eligible beneficiaries. We want to work with the British government and the Gambia government to make sure that the eligible beneficiaries who remain also partake and they are given the required support that they need.
So every month we have to get something that we can help ourselves. But to do these things like this, parade, every year parade, we scatter. It's very useless to us. So let them say something about it.
The British government, through the Royal Ex-Services League, provided grant support to Gambian World War II veterans and their families. The Veterans Family Association reports that less than 10% of eligible beneficiaries received the financial assistance available. In 2019, General Lord Donald, the former head of the British Army, called on the British government to pay compensation to African veterans of the Second World War, who were paid 3 times less than their white counterparts. To date, Lord Donald's call has not been heeded. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Decades of sand mining have left devastating environmental impact on Gambia's coastline, which is reported to have exhausted around 8 million cubic meters of sand and 800 hectares of land from Katong to Batokungu. In an apparent sustainable solution to the problem, Sinomaila Yalbak, a sand dredging company in the Gambia, has proposed a multi-million-dollar plan to restore and rehabilitate the affected areas. Momodu Lamin Choi again.
This is the damaging effect of sand mining along the Gambia's coastline in the communities of Batokungu, Sambia and Sanyang. The mining sites are less than 200 meters away from the beach and are in prime locations along the tourism development area. The commercial enterprise of sand mining for construction has left these lands destroyed beyond use. Sana Majilak Jalbak, a dredging company in the Gambia, is in talks with the government with a project plan that targets to restore and rehabilitate the destroyed lands. Alhaji Mamadou Samate is the managing director of Sana Majilak Jalbak Investments and Development Company Limited.
You know, the company wants to use it as TDA proposals. What TDA proposals are things that are compliant with TDA. So this could be hotels, it could be theme parks for children to go and play, it could be apartments, just like Atlantic City of Nigeria and Eco Atlantic of Nigeria and Victoria City of Lagos as well. All these areas were reclaimed land.
Estimates show that 400 five-star hotels measuring 100 by 200 meters each could be constructed in the total land area that has been damaged along the coastline in these communities. The average revenue government could generate from the total land area is estimated at about $600 million. Government is reported to have received royalties of approximately less than $15 million in 26 years of mining.
Yes, we have done the feasibility studies. The cost of based on the international standards for restoration or dredging, because they're charging between 13 to 15 euros a cubic meter. That's without the compaction, that's just the dredging. So if you take it with 13 to 15 euros a cubic meter, you're looking at almost $600 million. $600 million to restore this site. In terms of time frame, we intend to do this within 5 years, if we are given the opportunity. But I don't know if we'll be able to do it in 5 years, because you're dealing with the ocean, you're dealing with the wind, you're dealing with tides and so on.
Sana Majilak plans to restore the affected land areas through dredging. This is done through excavating accumulated sediment from the bottom of the sea. The restoration method will involve refilling, compacting and curing the dredged sand in these mined areas. To restore these coastal lands, Sana Majilak Jalbak has purchased a new ocean dredger, which we were given a tour of.
But this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I'm sure that you guys will all appreciate what we are doing. We are Gambians as well, just like you, young Gambians, you know, working, studying abroad, you know, working there with experiences. We also say, let us go back and see what we can do for our country.
The construction industry needs sand to survive, but seeing the damage caused to our coastal lands, it is evident that dredging is one of the most sustainable means of providing sand for construction. A report from a study in December 2000 by Haskoning BV Consulting Engineers and Architects from the Netherlands, a nation with a long history of such dredging, found that along the coast between Oyster Creek around Denton Bridge and Banjul, the erosion is caused by the local accumulation of sand in the Spit Atoll Point, which is behind the GGC. The report also recommends dredging to provide a source of sand for construction and reduce illegal sand mining from the beach. Through dredging, SMJ say it has nourished around some parts of the area mentioned in the report. Dredging by Sana Majilak Jalbak in Banjul has become a major source of sand for construction in the Gambia. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
United Purpose organized a project closure meeting for the West Africa Competitiveness Program WACOMP in Mansakongo in the Lower River region. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde reports.
The WACOMP project sought to strengthen the competitiveness of the Gambia and enhance its integration into the regional and international trading. It also sought to improve the performance and growth of the onion value chain and other horticultural products. This meeting brought together implementing partners and beneficiaries from the West Coast, the North Bank, Lower River, and Central River regions to discuss the achievements of the project over the past 3 years. Gansa Toure is the WACOMP project coordinator.
WACOMP project is not being implemented by United Purpose alone, United Purpose Self-Help Africa alone. United Purpose and its partner NGO staff, together with the support from the government, the Department of Agriculture, and the Marketing Federation, is able to implement the activities on the WACOMP project up to date. This is very important to recognize. And so first of the things that I would like to talk about is partnership. Partnership is something that we are proud of at United Purpose.
Lamin Dabo, the Regional Agriculture Director in LRR, compliments the efforts of partners for the successful implementation of such initiative and outline the impact of the project.
Through your effort, we have realized that yes, farmers they happen to see that we can able to produce onion year-round, because the demonstration done at various community gardens that actually testify to us that yes, this thing can be done. And because of that, in LRR we do our last best to ensure that whether project intervention or not, we seize this opportunity to tell each and every garden to do onion production for the year round.
Tom Senghor, a horticulturist from the National Agriculture Research Institute, NARI, explained the lessons learned during the course of the WACOMP project.
Before the intervention of this project, we were just seeing onion to be just being able to grow in only one cycle during the crop production season, and that is between the month of November to March. But this project has shown us that that has not been the case. It's only depend on planning and the selection of varieties, which it will enable you to produce any time of the year that you plan to produce crops.
Alpha Khan is the director of Freedom from Hunger campaign, one of the implementing partners.
For the last couple of years, we have been engaged in the implementation of this project at various levels and at various institutions with the same aims and objectives, just to make sure that the intended purpose of the WACOMP project is achieved.
Kambala Fati, a beneficiary and women's representative from Lower Salum in the Central River region, outlined the benefits of the WACOMP project to the rural communities. As the project aspires, its achievements include the introduction of rainy season onion production, rehabilitation of water systems, STM visits, procurement and distribution of farm inputs, and the introduction of new onion seed varieties in various communities across the intervention sites of the 4 regions. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have local, business, international, and sports news stories. Stay tuned.
ndajem jënd ak njaay mi fi faral di am dellu si waat na sa Independence Stadium di Gambia Youth Chamber of Commerce ñoo am lëkkaloog di Gambia Women Chamber of Commerce dikkati neen si juróomi pàcc bu jigéen ñi ak ndawi réew mi ñuy yëngu si fàggu koom-koom mbay muy agro business ak tourism trade fair si atum ren bi ndajem jënd ak njaay mi mu ngi yokk ak di fulandil ay jumtukaay yu xarañ tukkee si ay ndaw ak jigéen yu màcc ci baana fii si réewu Gambia dinañ fa dalal ay baana yu xarañ jógee sa Afrique saw jent ngir suqali nangute bi mootaay réewu Afrique fas ngir jëriñ seen doomi réew tukkee si jënd ak jaay dinañ fa am ay yëngu-yëngu yu bégle te am solo lu si mel ni jongante xarañteef màggal bési jigéen ñi ak ndaw ñi woy ak feeñal aada ak cosaan ak yeneen xeetu xew-xew yu neex yu kawe seen jot gaaw leen bindu ngir taxawal palaasu njaay di tàmbale benn fan jëm ba si ñaar fukki fan ak juróom si décembre dégg ngeen ma de si diiru ñaar fukki fan ak juróom ngir sabablu jënd jaay nangute ak lëkkaloo tukkee si wàllu baana di xewee sa bërëbu Independence Stadium sa Bakaw pour am si ay bataaxal yu leer wooteel 368 5556 368 5556 203 1080 203 1080 wala 5200045 5200045 ñu tasee Trade Fair.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Réew Gambia ndajem jënd ak njaay mi fi faral.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Jama Youth Association, in collaboration with the Kanifing Municipal Council and partners, held a cleaning exercise on Sunday at Serekunda Market to promote waste management and a conducive business environment. Lamin Dabo reports.
Waste collection and disposals are important to keep our environment clean. To ease the pressure on government and local councils, we sometimes need to take ownership of some of our development projects, especially in managing the waste we generate. This was what motivated Jama youths and partners to take up this initiative. Adam Viges is the chairman of Jama Youth Association.
So we want to have so many events, different initiatives, different days that we come out and clean up different areas, not just the Serekunda Market. And I want to give a special thank you to QTV for coming out today, to the Jama Youth Association, all 140 members and growing, to the DCC group, to Batu K Ice, and all of our other sponsors too, because this is a very, very historical day.
Littering and indiscriminate dumping of waste are common in the Gambia, despite our anti-littering laws. Rosemary Ramsunda is the founder of Diaspora Community Circle Association, which initiated the community waste bin provision.
So it's just using initiatives that we are placing these bins that people can actually use them and re-educate the young children that not throwing rubbish on the floor is not a good thing. We want them to use the bins and use that initiative and know that, you know, keeping Gambia clean it's like keeping your home clean. Gambia is our home.
Indiscriminate waste dumping and burning of waste can lead to poor health, economic losses and climate emissions, which contribute to climate change. Emmanuel Datsin, the CEO of Cyber World Foundation, has this message for the youth.
What I'm urging every youth in the Gambia is that please, when we see the buckets and the dustbins around, let us try to put our trash in it. Because when we litter around, it's a sin. That's what I always say. When we litter our environment, it's a sin. And so we should take up this responsibility and know that whatever we are doing, the greatest form of worship to our Creator is for us to take care of the environment.
Pa Babukar Mbai, an advisor to Jama Youth Association, says youth participation in promoting peace is important for community development.
I'm very, very happy and pleased that they started this settle in Serekunda Market. And that's why I'm here today, to join them. Most of the members, some of them are carpenters, some of them are tailors, you know, all occupations. And this school they are coming to start, and the initiative they have here is to help youths, you know, to engage themselves in doing something in the country.
Modu Enjai is Kanifing Municipal Council's market manager.
On behalf of the mayor and the CEO of council, we would like to extend our appreciation to the Jama Youth Association for such a wonderful gesture. Though we all know council cannot do it alone, and we know Serekunda Market is densely populated and waste is generated every day. So coming here today to work on a settle, this is a cleansing exercise. It's a good gesture and is well appreciated.
Jama Youth Association was born from a desire to, among other things, set up a youth academy where young people, especially the underprivileged, will be trained in skills acquisition for a livelihood and sustainable socio-economic development. For QTV News, I am Lamin Alaifandindabo.
We will now shift our attention to the world of business. The Central Bank of the Gambia has issued the official interbank foreign exchange rates for the 13th to the 19th November, and here are those rates.
Gambia has released the following official interbank foreign exchange rates for valuation purposes, applicable from the 13th of November to the 19th of November 2023. The rates are as follows: $1 US, $62.20 batuts; €1 euro, $66.61 batuts; £1 British pound, $77.27 batuts; £1 Swiss franc, $67.29 batuts; 5,000 CFA franc, $502.46 batuts; 100 Swedish krona, $537.67 batuts; 100 Norwegian krona, $544.93 batuts; 100 Danish krona, $846.75 batuts; West African unit of account currency, $82.13 batuts. That is the end of the official interbank foreign exchange rate valuation from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the period 13th November to the 19th of November 2023. Adel Dele Campbell reporting for QTV News.
We will now take a look at news outside the country. Liberians will vote on Tuesday in a runoff election between incumbent President George Weah and former Vice President Joseph Boakai after a tightly contested first round in which neither was able to score over 50% of the vote to secure an outright victory. Aliou Cisse has more.
Liberian President George Weah beat Boakai by just 7,126 votes out of almost 2 million Liberians who voted in the first round in October. The two also battled it out in 2017 when Weah won with over 61%. But now they are neck and neck at 43% each. Weah won the election in 2017 amid high hopes brought about by his promise to fight poverty and generate infrastructure development. His goal, he said, was to push Liberia from a low-income country to a middle-income one. But Weah has been accused of not living up to key campaign promises and ensuring justice for victims of the country's civil wars. He fired his chief of staff and 2 other senior officials after the United States imposed sanctions on them for corruption. Weah has blamed the coronavirus pandemic and consequences of the Russia-Ukraine war for his failure to deliver on economic targets. At 57, Weah, an ex-international football star, remains popular with young people as Boakai is much older, 78. Boakai is a political veteran who from 2006 to 2018 was the vice president of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who was Africa's first elected female head of state. There are fears that violence could break out 20 years after the 2 civil wars came to an end that killed 250,000 Liberians. Ahead of the runoff, both candidates have received endorsement from losing candidates from the first round. Weah has received the backing of Alexander Cummings' CCP party, although Cummings himself has remained neutral. Boakai has secured the endorsement of 3 of the 4 best-performing candidates that were eliminated in the first round. This is the latest elections in the West African region after 2 disputed presidential elections in Sierra Leone and Nigeria respectively, in which Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone was re-elected for a second term, while Bola Tinubu was elected to replace Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria. Senegal is also preparing for its presidential election in February 2024 amidst high political tensions between supporters of the opposition leader Ousmane Sonko and incumbent Macky Sall, who will not seek a third term. Several observers, including from the ECOWAS, are in Liberia to observe the credibility of the second round polls. The Electoral Commission has up to 15 days to publish the results. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
And now a look at the latest in the world of sports. The QCell-sponsored Manjai Nawetan League tournament final between Kololi Central and Ramdan has been rescheduled after 2 sides could not be separated on Saturday as darkness fell while post-match penalties were in progress. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga was there and he now reports.
A prolonged penalty shootout which saw 20 players, 10 from each team, taking their kicks, was not enough to separate Kololi Central and Ramdan after a 1-1 draw in normal time. Sana Drame scored the equalizer to force the game to penalties. A Kololi Central defender had tried to guide the ball towards his own goal, only for Sana to intercept and poke the ball into the net. Kololi Central started off well with a beautiful passing game, and it was no surprise when Alassana Jallo scored with a volley after a free kick to give them the lead. The match had many stoppages due to a combination of injuries and delaying tactics by both sides. However, there was also good football on display by both sides, with Kololi dominating for the greater part of the game. Ramdan had more possession in the latter stages of the game, leading to an equalizer, thus forcing what seemed like a never-ending, pulsating penalty shootout. All the penalty takers scored, with the exception of the two goalkeepers, who both put their shots wide. The final is rescheduled to be replayed on Friday, 17th November 2023, at the same venue, the Manjai football field. Fans of both teams will hope that darkness does not descend for a second time before getting a result. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin, but don't forget to get interactive with us on social media. We want to hear from you. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.